What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's Monday. How are you? How was your weekend? How high am I? There we go. Yep, works. Hello, everybody. How you doing? Hey there, man. How's Ransom today? Good to see you. There's Dragon. Hello, Double Pixel. Glad you're here. I'm, let me see if I can do this properly. How do we do this? Boop. There we go. Today's gonna be fun. I get to play Minecraft. I haven't played Minecraft in 1,000 billion, zillion, billion years. And so I get to play Minecraft today. I'm excited. I hope you are too. It's Twitch Interactive. Terry, who you see up in the chat there, has helped me immensely. A million times a billion. To be able to make this a really special server and a really special Twitch interactivity, really special effects that are going to happen. We're gonna take it slow today because we're gonna make sure it all works. But once we get it all tested up, good gravy, it's going to be something. But before that, we're going to be talking about courage. Just had a conversation with my local pastor to get to know each other a little. That's nice. Pastors like that. Tell you what, we're being treated like we're not allowed to, like we're totally weird or different. We're people too, man. Plus, we care about if it's a good pastor, he cares about you. He wants to know how you're doing and get to know you. If he's a good pastor, he does. Good for you. It's like I had a friend who was a teacher in school. And he said, it's ironic that the people who show up for parent-teacher interviews, like the parents that show up for parent-teacher interviews are not the parents you want to talk to. The parents you need to talk to, because their kids need help, are the parents who don't show up for parent-teacher interviews, right? It's like, it's sort of the same thing, right? The people that are in trouble at the church that you really want to help out, they don't come talk to the pastor because they're in trouble and they need help and they don't want to talk to the pastor. And so it's like the people who are healthy and spiritual and things like that, where they're always on the phone with the pastor and whatnot. It's we like it when somebody calls us up and is like, hey, can we talk about life and just get to know each other and so that we can be involved in each other's lives? I think it's a good thing. My weekend was much fun. Spent 6 hours on Saturday on the phone with the VA trying to figure out what they meant by "we are working on it." By the end of it, I wasn't happy or being nice anymore. What? Did you get an answer? Like, is there any kind of calendar or time or how much money it is or anything? Or does the jerking around continue? And I agree with you. I mean, my wife is really good at being nice to people on the phone. And when it comes to, like, telemarketers and stuff, I don't. I'll hang up. No, click. Because I don't want to waste their time. And also because, it's an invasive thing to do. And I get it's their job and whatnot. It's just, it by its nature, it's not a good job, right? It's I don't even know if it's a job that should exist. I mean, if the government could call people, and be like, hey, this is a thing, that'd be cool. But it's never the government. It's always some corporation or some group that wants to lie to you. Well, at least you got something. Do you have a date? Do you have a time? Do you know what you're going to do? 6 hours though, man. I can totally relate to that. Let me tell you guys the story where when I moved to the States, I came in there and the way I had healthcare was actually on a foreign soccer player healthcare program thing. It was like this bizarre thing that we could just finally get some healthcare in a hurry. And And then when we got down there, we're like, okay, so we were on what's called an R1 status, which is a religious worker. I mean, you can cross the border, easy peasy lemon squeezy. But what we didn't have was like a permanent status, as in not like citizenship, but like it would expire after a year. So we had to go down to the court office or to the government building downtown Cleveland and have a talk. And we were in floor 6. I remember because we were on floor 6 and we're talking to the person that we thought we were supposed to do it. We're like, hey, so this, and about that, and can we get this fixed? They're like, oh, we can't do that. That's not a system. You need to go talk to the person on the 4th floor. So we went down the elevator, talked to the person on the 4th floor. Stood in line, good, and talked to them. Hey, so we're upstairs, and they said that we need do. And she's like, and the person at the desk is like, no, we don't do that anymore. You tell them we don't do that anymore. Went upstairs and to the 6th floor. So the lady said they don't do that anymore, and we can't get that. She's like, oh no, well that's how it has to be. I mean, I don't know who you were talking to. Went downstairs to the 4th floor and said, would you please come with us to the 6th floor to talk to this person? So we literally took the 4th floor lady up to the 6th floor and put her in front of that person and be like, and go. And they're like, blah, 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 blah. And they worked it out. And then we were able to we were able to extend for a year. But it was so stupid. So stupid. Same business, same building, same government, same agency. And they didn't know what they were doing. And that's the thing. I was thinking about this with, we have what's called ODSP or disability help because of, stuff in my house and family. And ODSP, the government, they require a lot to be able to keep getting the help. But the problem is the people that are getting help are in really rough situations. Right. And I've had this conversation with the person that, sort of been talking to, like, so, we're going through the ringer. Like they're asking for 80% of the money back. They're renegotiating. They're getting lawyers involved. Like it's a whole thing. And I said, this is really frustrating, but I'm almost more frustrated on behalf of the people that don't have someone in their home, that don't have 2 people working on this, that don't, that have learning disabilities or that have, reading disabilities or physically can't get places or are always tired or whatever. How are they able to do this? It's become a full-time job to just kind of deal with the lawyer and the government and the everything and fill out the paperwork. And, it's hurry up and wait constantly. That's stressful. And these people, the reason they're on, this program is because they're not doing that good. How can you be the people trying to help those not doing that good, but also somehow the people that are making their lives miserable? Right? That is frustrating to me. It makes me angry. And, fair. There are people that are on programs like that are cheating. They don't belong there. They shouldn't be there. And then there are those who should be on there, but can't figure out how to navigate the paperwork and whatnot. So they end up in real trouble. Like they end up not being able to have like they'll end up homeless or they'll end up, in a worse situation because they didn't know how to get the help. Sorry, I have a cough today, apparently. Probably choking on my pie. You know how it is. Man, you guys, between you and me and the wall and everybody else, I said to myself recently, I'm going to, as soon as I got the invitation to go to Texas, which is happening real soon, by the way. It's like 2 weeks. I'm like, man, that's an excuse to, slim down, get, work out a little bit, get the clothes to work and whatnot. And and I am now bigger than I ever have been. It's like it went the moment I said I'm going to buckle down, it's like everything went sideways in my, my eating life. It's just absolutely stupid. And it's so dumb because I've now had the doctor, literally go like, if you don't do this, there's going to be something wrong with you. And, I'm like, I have an incentive on this calendar date to be able to get this done. And I still can't do it. It's so frustrating. So frustrating. You think I'd be able to. I've got self-control in so many other places in my life. But apparently not in that. Yeah, let's do that. Brent had a physical and learning disability, and he couldn't do the paperwork and web stuff and got frustrated. Yeah, exactly. That's my point, right? That's my point. Like, it's you need someone there. You need, like you said, an advocate to sit next to you and take you through this stuff. Or like we have the lawyer that we have. Obviously, we don't have like expensive lawyer. We got a free lawyer that provided by an agency. But even then, sitting there with the lawyer and giving the lawyer the things that they want from you, like that's already something. Yeah. Anyway. Carnal nature for you, make rules, and the flesh wants to break, not just break them, like it went the other way. Even if I like stayed the same size, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I didn't do it, but I'm huge now, huge. There's a thing with procrastination where you do the least offensive things. We need to come up with the things that are more annoying than exercise so that it looks like the easy choice. Yeah. It's funny because exercise is weird. I like exercise. I always have. I like going for a walk. I like the burn of lifting weights. I like doing it. It's just getting from here to wherever it is always a struggle. I mean, you wouldn't think that going for a walk would be this massive mental battle, but it is. I have pie. Chicken pot pie. It's my lunch. Sorry for eating and streaming. But I had a meeting with a couple of online pastors today. Just kind of talk through things, Have a chat about stuff. We do it every month, every 2 weeks. We have this chat, and it's always on a Monday now. And so I, basically been going since since this morning. And I was like, we're always talking way too much, right? And they're always like, don't you have stream? And I'm like, let's keep talking. It's a good conversation. Then we end, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm in trouble. Quick, do things. And so so now I'm eating microwave chicken pot pie. I don't know. I don't think I have ADHD. I just think I have sin. Yeah, no. And I don't think I have ADHD. My daughter's trying to convince me that I'm autistic. She watched the TikTok. My dad has some of those symptoms. He's autistic. I'm like, sweetheart. Not really. Like there are other things. This is funny. I mean, I'm whatever. I don't think I ADHD as an actual like diagnosis. I don't think I could ever have that. Because of the, it does require, there's a big difference between not having self-control or setting up your life in such a way that you have not built discipline, or setting up your life so that you are surrounded by distractions, or, choosing to get addicted to some kind of stimulant or playing a game too much, or killing your ability to concentrate because you never sit down to actually read or whatever. Like there's a difference between that and having an actual learning disability, because one is the cause and one is the effect. You know what I mean? Like if you have ADHD and that's the cause, it's going to lead to those symptoms and lead to some other stuff, right? Whereas if you just lack self-control, you just lack the ability to do, or the desire, or the will to be able to do the healthy things, you're gonna feel crappy. That's just the way it is, man. And I can't diagnose myself with something that could be easily fixed by I don't know. Doing life better. Accountability. Ukulele said the other day, just sort of a joke in chat. She's like, so you're saying you need accountability? And I'm like, well, yeah, but, and I said it like it kind of like a joke, but at the same time, when it comes to actual, like people looking over my shoulder, when it comes to adult male things, like the things that guys are of my age are supposed to be doing, like diet, like exercise, like going for a walk, like taking your vitamins, like, stopping work before you die. I don't have anybody doing that. It's just me, right? So Like, yeah, I would actually would struggle to know who I would find as an accountability person for that. I literally wouldn't know. Like, I agree it's important, and I'd totally sign up, but I don't know. Hi, Phoenix. Good to see you. And by the way, hello, Gerberts. Good to see you. Yes, please like and subscribe, share with your friends, etc., etc. Although I will say this, something interesting happened recently on ye old Twitch. So Twitch has if you don't know this, then buckle up. Twitch has actually allowed multi-streaming. So I can now stream on Twitch and simulcast it to YouTube, which is very cool. I like that. There's two things that is a problem with that. One is, I'm pretty sure 100% of the people that are here right now watch me on Twitch, right? And so if I was on Twitch, you'd be on Twitch too, which means that I have 0 viewers over here on the YouTube, right? And the second problem is that because of the way that they've structured the agreement, the way that they're going to do the policy for multi-streaming, is that they said you can't have Twitch chat, or sorry, YouTube chat, or whatever other chat, Kick chat, whatever. You can't have it on the screen. They phrased it weird though. Like the actual phrase that they used, I should pull it up because it really was an interesting way to put it. Let me look it up so I can tell you what they said. Yeah. It says, can I still link to third-party websites, including sites that I'm simulcasting on my About? So yes, obviously, just like before, I can say, hey, I'm also on YouTube. You know, totally fine. But it says, can I use third-party tools that combine activity from other platforms or services such as chat if I'm just using them for my personal usage? Yes, you are free to use tools that are for your personal use. The prohibition on third-party tools only applies to content presented to viewers either on or off Twitch. Now, it's phrased weird because here, let me pull it up. I'll show you why it's phrased weird. Come on, brain. That one. It's phrased weird because of this. Where's the word combine? Combine. Right here. The word combine. If you're on Restream.io, there's a system that it integrates all your chat. Like you'll have YouTube chat and Twitch chat and Kick chat, and they'll all be in the same stream. And it said you can't do that. You're free to use the tools, so I can see YouTube chat when I'm on Twitch. But I cannot have it in the Twitch chat being put together. However, the word combine activity that from other platforms or services such as chat, if I'm using them, and it says you're free to use it for personal use. Provisions for third-party tools only applies to content presented to viewers either on or off Twitch. Now, that is it's nice, and the way that was kind of phrased online from everybody was basically, this is a great step in the right direction. We're all very excited. Obviously, and it's going to be like everything else, where people get their underwear in a twist and all of a sudden they change the policy. Although I don't see them changing this one anytime soon, because they don't want it so that you're perfect simulcasting on Twitch and YouTube, because that plays to YouTube. But if you have it only on YouTube, like Twitch, the Twitch chat is on YouTube, then the incentive is to go, oh, I want to join the conversation. I'll go watch on Twitch. That's the idea, right? In my opinion, that's what they're trying to do. But it ends up being, if you can integrate them all, then it doesn't really help anybody, right? It doesn't incentivize anyone to go to Twitch. Yeah, don't show combine. That's it. Don't show combine. So that's my question. Okay. So that's my question. This is where I need to learn more, and that is, if I have YouTube chat here and Twitch chat below, they're not combined. right? They're not combined. There's YouTube chat and then there's Twitch chat. That's not combined. You know what I mean? Is that cool? Because I could totally do that. That would be easy enough, right? You could have YouTube chat going and you could have Twitch chat going, and they could, take up each other's space, and it would be totally legit. But my guess is that it's not that. I don't know. We'll see. They're going to fight over money, views, features, proper content, and streamers. Going to be the crossfire. Well, yes and no. For one, it's hard to police this, like, especially since most streamers on Twitch are not big giant streamers, right? It's going to be hard to figure out. They're not going to go through every stream trying to find who's combining chat and whatnot. The second thing is they're already in the doghouse when it comes to the streamers on their platform, right? If you talk to a YouTuber, they'll call themselves a YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber. I do YouTube. I'm a YouTuber. You should see me on YouTube. You talk to somebody on Twitch, they will call themselves a streamer, right? I'm a streamer. They don't say I'm a Twitcher or a Twitch person, because they're miffed with Twitch. They will stream anywhere. The reason that they're on Twitch is because it's convenient and because that's where their audience is. They're too scared to go anywhere else, or because that's just kind of the way it works for them. But they're not loyal to Twitch at all. They'll bounce real quick. So Twitch needs to be real careful in how they handle this. I think this is the right move for them because it'll help, and that limitation that makes a ton of sense. But it doesn't work in their favor to have an equal system, right? Now, I will say this. The stuff you can do on Twitch, like alerts and like the really funny stuff and the channel rewards and all that, like the bells and whistles. Twitch has a million more bells and whistles, and you can get them as an affiliate. Whereas on YouTube, you need to have 1,000 subscribers and 10,000 or 50,000 watch hours, like just to get to having membership, just to get to having a subscriber. It's hugely different over there. So if you're like, man, I want to watch this, I want to do the fun thing, I want to make the lights blink and all that stuff, you have to go to Twitch. You can't do it on YouTube. I would ask them first. I was also wording combined activity. Yeah, exactly. Well, my guess, because that was part of the queue, the FAQ, right? So that means that somewhere in the world, I think they said in their tweet they're going to release it at some point. They're going to give you the actual policy, the thing that they're actually doing. So when that comes out, we'll read it real close. More likely something like no combining YouTube features with a Twitch stream. Well, see, that's a pain. So for example, if somebody subscribes right now, where I am right here, this will do cool stuff. Like the whole thing will light up and there'll be things happening, because it does understand subscriber. It figures it out. I can't do memberships and I can't do super chat and I can't do all that stuff yet until I get to 500. Then it'll all kick in. But this will do something when someone subscribes. So I can be on Twitch, have all my Twitch stuff all set up perfect, and have one overlay like this that will show YouTube subscribers, which has always been okay. You can do that. You could do that all. Nobody ever had a problem with that ever. So I would think that the alert system is different, right? Big picture, there might be some corporate antitrust problems with this scheme. Interesting. Can you explain that a little further? Because I'd like to hear what you mean. Hello, Stephen Brown. Good to see you. That's true. I was watching a panel from TwitchCon and was surprised to hear I'm a YouTuber who also streams on Twitch from one of the panelists. Yes. And that's the problem, right? Brand loyalty. People will walk around with a YouTube badge, come see me on YouTube. But they will call themselves a streamer, and if you're only on Twitch, you will have your logo, not the Twitch logo, right? They'll put YouTube logos on the wall, but they will not put Twitch logos on the wall. or they will if they're like a little affiliate or whatever. But that's not how it works in my experience. My daughter doesn't eat the crust, so every time she's done with this, it's just a bowl of crust. All the stew is eaten out of it. I like the crust, but on stream it's crunchy. I try to avoid the crunchy stuff on stream. Ugh. Part of me wanted to fast forward this whole talk because I wanted to get to I wanted to get to Minecraft because it's a brand new world and there's really cool stuff happening, and apparently there's spooky stuff for Halloween also. I don't know. I didn't have any input on it. Okay, like I input with the Twitch interactivity. That's what I did. The Twitch interactivity, and but all the other things that are happening, I either don't know and will discover, or I didn't pick. And so there's some things that are going to happen on that stream. It's going to be fun. And I know that Pineapple, she really likes pestering me with things, and so she'll be able to. You guys will be able to pester me with the bits and the subs and the follows and the money, and there's even a couple of little words. I'm not going to tell you what they are. They are a secret. But if they get typed in chat, things will happen in Minecraft. I think that's really fun and totally exploitative. If you learn it, you can totally do it every time. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting because I'm thinking that we could probably do more of those things. Have like just a random word that may or may not be typed in, and then all of a sudden something will happen. I just think it's fun. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if anybody types it. It'll be funny. I think. Because I'll be standing there, and all of a sudden, a thing will happen. I'll be like, how did the thing happen? Because someone typed it. Thank you, Avar Killian. Oh, that's super kind of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. The coffee donation, by the way, if you don't know what that is the main source of where I get my income. It's the only source I get my income. So thank you. To be able to do that, it means a lot. We've got a lot of things happening and a lot of things coming up, and I'm working really hard. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Very, very cool. Ever Killian's a monthly donor too. So like that's on top. That's on top. So thank you. Also, if you're on Coffee, you can follow what I'm doing. I was supposed to put out an update on Saturday. I almost always do Saturday updates. I didn't because I was teaching and we had an event and things like that, and then I just didn't. I was tired. I didn't want to. I'll do it this week though sometime. Terry, should that be put into the game for the reward amount? You mean the coffee donation? Well, see, because that's the thing. Because see how CoffeeBot goes heart, new coffee donation from Everkillian for $300, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. If that was the command that was built into the Minecraft system, then it would work fine. But my instinct is that whatever coffee, any coffee thing, would be one special thing. This donation in particular? No. No, I don't want to confuse it too much. If we can get the coffee thing automatically set up, yes, thumbs up. That sounds like a great idea that it does it by itself and it's an incentive and I could put it in the list. By the way, if you look down, nope, that's on Twitch. When you're on Twitch, look down, you'll see all the things you can do on Minecraft. But no, we're not going to do that now. We're just going to, hopefully we can figure out how to put coffee on there. That was super kind, man. What a great way to start stream. And I don't need super chat if that happens. You know, that coffee is a great stand-in for super chat. All right, let's jump over to the talk. Okay, let's jump into the talk. We've got a really interesting thing happening right now, and it's super fun. I'm having fun anyway. It is. We're talking about courage. Or no, we're doing a test, a kind of personality test for the different things you need to be an effective human being. How did they phrase it? Measuring your leadership growth and evaluation for growing leaders. This is just it's just universal characteristics for anybody who wants to be a good person. We talked about character, obviously important, being secure in your personal identity, having emotional security, having strong ethics and values and be willing to stand for them. Self-discipline, right? Which is I talked about this morning and that I apparently lack. Then we talked about compassion. That was last time. We talked about the importance of having your heart knit with other people. The importance of allowing yourself to feel for other people. Allow you to be moved emotionally towards wanting other people to feel better, right? A good person has compassion. They feel on behalf of others. Sociopaths are not healthy people. You know what I mean? They have to work on that. It's not a good thing if you are completely closed off, or you don't care about other people, or if you do care and do nothing, right? That's pointless, right? That's sort of the what's the point of loving someone if you don't do anything about it? So I'm going to pray, and then we're going to talk about courage. Courage. And then, that's what we're going to do. Let me pray. God, thank you for the day, for your love, and for stream. Thanks for the gift from Everkillian. That was very kind, and it was because of you. You're the one who motivated him to do it and gave him the opportunity to do it, and that's really cool. Thank you for everybody who gives on Coffee and gives on stream and has done so much service to me personally. Taco and this channel and whatnot, they don't exist without your people serving and loving and giving of themselves. You are very kind. I'm very thankful. You know my past, and you know how rough it's been with some Christians, but it's been very cool to meet some amazingly generous people. Thank you for this technology. Thank you for YouTube, and help us navigate, help all streamers navigate what this new normal is going to be with multi-streaming. And as we turn to personal and leadership development, God, may it be challenging and encouraging. Teach us how to be more like Jesus. Teach us how to be more like you, because you're perfect, and we want to aspire towards being the kind of human being you were. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so today we're talking about courage. There we go. What color should courage be? Not purple. Courage isn't purple. What color is courage? Orange. Orange strikes me as a courage color. Probably red, maybe? I don't know. I don't think red would work, though. If I pick red, will it look bad? That's pink-ish, reddish. I don't know. Let's go with that. Is it better for you in orange or red? I feel like orange is easier to see. There we go. There you go. Yeah, let's go with orange, not yellow. Right. All right. Let's read this. It says, once character has been developed to include compassion for others, it takes courage to implement change. Having courage means facing fears and taking stands. It means acting brave when we don't really feel brave. There's your quote, okay? So what is courage? Courage is not... Yeah, sorry, the colors don't matter because Dragon's listening to right now. He's not looking at the screen. He's listening. So he's like, yeah, whatever color you want, man. Having courage means facing fears and taking stands, okay? So courage is not throwing yourself into stupid places. Courage is not someone who walks into a problem or walks into a solution and it's easy for them, so they just do it. You know, courage isn't just making everybody mad, or for that matter, running somewhere where you don't belong and you have no idea how to be there and you're putting yourself in danger. Like, that's not courage. Courage is facing fears, as in you have a fear. There's something that's holding you back. You don't want to do it, whatever it is. It's a good thing, and you want to do it, but you're afraid. Taking stands means standing in front of, taking the brunt of something, taking the effect of something, taking the punishment of something on behalf of others, right? As in, like, I will defend these people, or I will not allow that to happen anymore to this group. I stand here because I'm going to stop you, right? So facing fears is there's something out there stopping me, and I'm going to go. Taking stands is there's something happening, and I'm going to stop it, right? This is the key here. It says it means acting brave when we don't really feel brave. That is courage. When you don't feel brave, when you don't feel like you can do it, when you don't feel like it's going to be easy, or it's going to come naturally, or whatever, and there's going to be bad effects, difficult things in your life are going to happen, you do it anyway. right? Because it's the right thing to do. And it says here, once character has been developed, right? In other words, all that stuff we just talked about, you have, well, let's read it. It's a lot easier. Once character has been developed, right? Once you have a personal identity, as in you understand who you are, what your gifts are, what your abilities are, who you are in Christ, that you're a unique, special creation, that you have emotional security, so you're not manipulated, you're not being, you're not led by the storms of your life, and for a season you are absolutely miserable, for a season you're utterly elated. Depending on what's happening in the news, your life changes, your attitude changes. You have emotional security. You take control of your emotions, ethics and values. You know what's right and wrong. You believe in right and wrong. You have a code, and you stick to it. And then self-discipline, as in, doing things you don't want to do because you have to do them anyway. Once you have that, right, the next step, and of course it says, to include compassion for others, but the next step is implementing when it's hard. Right? Self-discipline is, I'm going to do things because it's important for me. I'm going to do things because it's important for me. I don't want to do it because it, like exercise sucks, and, depriving myself sucks, and going to bed on time sucks, and having to go talk to people about my feelings, that's no fun, things like that. But this also means, or courage is different. Courage is being willing to act on those character traits when there's active, opposition. Don't have that problem. I'm consistently in a melancholy mood. You and me both, buddy. I am, generally speaking, have been a pretty even-keeled, melancholy guy. And it was because of outside influence, right? If just bad things were happening all the time. And so, therefore, it didn't feel good. It's funny because in the last 3 years, since I started streaming, 2.5 years. It's just up because it's March, right? So October, November, December, January, February, March. So literally, year and a half, 2.5 years. In that time, I have laughed more and like belly laughed more and had like tears from laughter more than I have in probably the 25 years previous. Right? I've experienced more joy and success and loving supports consistently, emergency support, I've had miracles happen and been able to be part of people's lives in a special way I used to be Mr. Melancholy, like just kind of, yeah, okay, whatever, I like this, but I really don't care if it doesn't happen because it's probably going to take it away anyway. And now I feel I'm a lot happier. In fact, just today, so I was on that call with those pastors, and one of them during prayer said, "Thank you that we can see joy in me," right? It for a long time, a lot of the conversations were kind of heavy, and so today it was a bit more lively, a bit more, less cynical, less big bummery, less scared. It was more encouraging, and it was like they could see a difference in me because of how how good I'm doing lately, and that was really encouraging. It's one thing to be like, yeah, I feel pretty good. It's another thing to have someone actually go, yeah, actually, you know what, you look better, right? That's pretty cool. But I know what it's like to live in that melancholy mood, man. I really, really do. And it comes down to, again, courage, right? Courage isn't just big stuff. It's not just big stuff. It's, for example, going to, for me, for a long time, it was going to church. When I walked through the church, I was consistently anxious, consistently afraid. I didn't sing. I was scared someone would talk to me. I was scared someone wouldn't talk to me. I was worried somebody would see me that would know me and say something mean or I was just losing my marbles for 2 straight years of trying to go to church. I started talking to some folks and talking to pastors and talking to my mentor and whatnot. And I'm like, so I'm kind of losing my mind, and I'm giving it 2 years. And they said, why don't you take a break? Don't quit church. But if you haven't taken a break and you've gone to church consistently, even through, abusive churches and difficult stuff, and you got a lot of baggage from that, you can take a break. I still connect with Christians. I still spend time in the Word. I still spend time serving. Like, I'm still doing basically a ton of church stuff here online, which that's why why we do it, right? But yeah, it freaks me out. So I had courage to go, and it was really hard to do. But it doesn't have to be big things. It can be, having the courage to talk to your mother about being less controlling, right? It can have the courage to go take that class that you think you're going to fail, but you need, and you're going to have to study for, and you're worried, just to be able to go, I have to take it. I'm going to take it. Normally I wouldn't. Normally I'd let the fear take over and I'd take something less, or I'd give up on my dream, whatever. The courage I have to do this. I'm going to do this. Takes courage, right? Takes courage to go to that small group. Takes courage to share your feelings, to become vulnerable with anybody. Really, just to kind of go, I'm going to be honest today. And when someone says, how you doing? I'm going to tell them, or I'm going to go into this support group, or I'm going to go into this Discord group, and I'm going to share. I'm going to say, this is what I'm going through, and this is how it feels, and this is really hard right now. It's scary because other people have used that for gossip. Sometimes I get a DM from somebody who's like just doesn't get it. Sometimes people argue with my own feelings. It's risky, but I know that it's better for me to have shared, to get prayer, to get support, than it is for me to not do that. So I'm going to take the risk, face the fear, and stand in front of it. Takes courage to get out of bed, and that's if you've ever faced like legit depression. There are days where you feel like a superhero just because you got in the shower. And it sounds stupid, but really, if you've had legit depression, there are 2-3 days you don't shower, you don't eat, you just feel crappy. You just sit there and imbibe in garbage you shouldn't do, and then when you pull yourself, go, I'm gonna shower today, or I'm gonna call my counselor, and I'm gonna take my vitamins, and I'm gonna have breakfast, that kind of thing. It's really hard. It can be really, really hard, really, really hard. And taking stands, right? Bipolar. Yeah, there you go. See, yeah, the up and down thing. Yeah, for sure. Taking stands, right? So in other words, standing in front of a place where you're going to get in trouble, saying something that is the truth in the face of a whole bunch of people who are believing a lie. Someone who telling a friend something difficult because you're worried that it's going to affect the friendship. Confronting someone on their sin and going, hey, this is hurting you, right? Or taking a stand in front of a group and going, our group isn't going the right way, this is wrong. Like that, it's hard. But if you have that, all those character traits we just talked about, you'll be compelled to do it because you know who you are. You're not emotionally swayed. You know your ethics, and you know your convictions, and you know this is wrong, and you've had the self-discipline to put yourself through the paces to understand that what you're saying is correct, and so you stand up. Like you need to have those other things, because really, when will you take a stand if you are you're emotionally all over the place? So you're being manipulated, and so you freak out about this. I can't believe this is happening. I'm upset. And then someone goes, actually, here's the facts. And you're like, oh, okay. And then you go somewhere else, and you're like, you get really mad. I'm mad on behalf of this person over here. And it's like, well, actually, that didn't happen. Like, you're all over the place. How can you take a stand if you are always emotionally all over the place? Or for that matter, if you don't have any ethics and values, right? If you don't stand anywhere, you don't have the foundation of the Word of God. You don't believe the law is important. You don't like authority. Who cares about the velvet rope, right? All that stuff. If you don't care, then you're never going to take a stand. Why would you, right? Another thing you won't take a stand is if you're currently doing that sin. Like, what's the reason why there's so much insane sexual sin out there right now? Is because everybody is insanely sexually sinning. And they don't want to go no to anybody because someone will say no to them. And they don't want to be told no. They want to keep doing it. It's taking a stand requires good character. It requires good character. So let's do a little bit of a test. and ask ourselves the question: how well do you exhibit courage? Now, these are going to be, you know, like, do you jump into snake pits and try to wrestle vipers? It's not that. It's far more benign, but equally as scary. Donnie's saying hi to everybody. I like to start new projects even when it's scary. So, in my experience, especially organizationally speaking, stopping a project is 1,000 times harder than starting one. Actually getting to the end of a project or a ministry and realizing that it is not doing what you want it to do, or it's that was for a different time, or doing your stream and doing your content and putting it all together and going, man, that's not working, and I've set everything up for it and I told everybody that's what I was going to do and it's not working and now I want to change. It's hard to stop things, right? Hard to stop things because you look dumb and like, oh, I made a mistake and I told everybody this and now I'm not doing it. You know, or you feel like you've already invested, so you have to keep going. And Taco doesn't have a starting problem. Yeah. Well, that's it, right? We're trying to build slow. We're trying to build slow. We made one little bump in the road where we kind of wrong direction, but we course corrected pretty quick. But this is, I mean, it's kind of true when it comes to start new projects. So let's, instead of being all leadery, can you do new things? Literally, just as a person, a new thing, even when it's scary. For example, going on a date with someone that you've never met before, or trying a new food that you've never had before, shopping at a grocery store that you're not used to, going to visit somebody in the hospital that you've never. You know, that you're not a chaplain, but, you know, going into the hospital. Like, do you do things that are difficult even when it's scary? Do you try new things? Or are you just in the rut? I think music is a good example of this. And it's not like it's courageous to listen to a different radio station. But I think part of it is there are people, and I'm definitely guilty of this on occasion, and that is I like the music I like. And so therefore, if I'm in the car, I'm going to turn on, you know, classic rock, and that's what I'm going to listen to. That's the music I like. But there's other good music out there. The question is, can you listen to it? Are you willing to go and at least experience it, right? Or are you like, no, I don't do things that are new. It frustrates me. Individually starting new projects, like, could you switch jobs, right? This is one that comes up a lot in people's lives. They have a job, it pays their bills, it does the thing it's supposed to do, but they don't like it. They don't like being there, or the culture changed and now it's not really fun to be there. So so what do? They stay miserable because they're too afraid to put their resume together, go do interviews, try to find a better place. It's just easier to stay and be miserable because it's consistent than it would be to go try a new job, right? That's what we're talking about. So on a scale of 1 to 10, with those kind of examples being, you know, what we're talking about, do you start new things? Do you try new things? Are you willing to make big changes, even when it's difficult and scary? How would you say what your number is, right? You don't have to put it in chat if you don't want to, but that's what I want you to ask yourself. Ugh, I do wish I had changed earlier. I wasn't necessarily miserable, but would have been better. Would have been better for my career and family. Yeah. Did you have the instinct? Like, was there something in you that was like, yeah, I should probably change, but you said no to? Kind of pushed down that thought because it wasn't the right time, because you didn't feel like it, because it would have been hard, because you didn't want to move. Like, did you push it down? Or, hey, Loser Gamer, good to see you. Still changing here. Sanctification is a process. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. And again, this, in order to change, in order to be someone who's willing to get better, you have to be able to stop and ask yourself big questions, right? I was talking to the taco class about this on Saturday. I said, you know what? You might feel intimidated by all the stuff we're covering, because we were covering big topics, big brain stuff. And I could see in their eyes as they were like, man, that's a lot to think about, right? It could reframe, restructure everything that they were doing when it came to content creation, because they hadn't really thought about their own personality, their own personal desires, what their gifts and talents are, what kind of people that they are most attracted to, and that they want to help. Like, they really thought about it. They just started streaming. It's like, that's big, and so I kind of was like, okay, yeah, these are big questions. Yeah, and they're going to take a while to answer. You don't got to answer them tonight, but it's really critical if you want to do something big and you want to do something important and you want to do something godly and you want to change the world, to ask yourself big questions, right? Most people don't. They don't want to have big. That's why they avoid counseling. That's why they avoid their pastor. That's why they avoid their parents. That's why they hide their sin. That's why they because they don't want to be told anything negative. They don't want to be told to change. They don't want to be told that they were wrong. So they avoid all the wise people, and they avoid all the people that are gonna tell them otherwise. But if you want to grow, you gotta evaluate. Dragon Daddy Bear's OG account, too lazy to change it over for the stream. Hey, Dragon Daddy, good to see you, man. November 9th, I'm giving my testimony online, says Donnie, over on a Facebook group I'm part of. Get to relive all the pain I've been through, but if my story can help someone, I want to share. One of the things that happens, sidebar, time for a sidebar, that we got to be careful when it comes to testimonies, is that we don't. How do I put it? I was going to say glorify pain, or that we don't make our suffering the main character. You know what I mean? Because a Christian testimony, Jesus is the main character, right? It's how did Jesus work in your life? How did Jesus work in your life before? How did you meet Jesus? And what's Jesus doing in your life now? And I know plenty of people whose testimony is, 45 minutes of just the worst stuff. I was in a biker gang and I killed these guys and I took drugs and I, had multiple partners and I blew all my money and I stole, and just story after story after story after story, and everybody just sitting there enraptured listening to this there you go, bragamony, there you go, and then they get like the last part, and then I met Jesus and he changed my life forever. He just really did. I'm so glad. The end. Right? It's that story was, look how cool sin is. And now that I've experienced all that awesome stuff, now I'm old enough to, settle down. And that's not a Christian testimony. This is what I was going through. This is how Jesus was in it. Along the way, I saw, looking back, I saw God in this, or God protected me through this, and God guided me through this. Or today, as I look back at this, I can see how God has redeemed it. Like, that's the testimony. It's not the glorying in the pain, right? Not being miserable all the time, and going, and then Jesus happened, right? Yeah, I'm not accusing you of doing that, Don. Don't get me wrong, and I would never accuse you of that. I'm just saying it just came up, right? And the idea that it's going to be rough, and I agree. If I had to share my testimony on right now and really tell everything that happened to me in the last 10 years, right? Because if you listen to exclamation point my story, you'll see a link to my testimony. And that testimony goes from when I was a little kid all the way up to when right before my last church, right before my previous church. I just ended at that church, and it was like literally I was done at that church halfway through when I was giving my testimony episodes. And so I didn't want to talk about anybody that was in the church. I didn't want to slag anybody. I didn't want to be accused of, speaking about people in a roundabout way. And everybody knows who that is. You just never said it. I didn't want to get any of that stuff, right? So I just stopped. Boop. That was more than enough story. However, I know for a fact if I were to start talking about everything that happened in the last 10 years, everything that happened in the last 5 years, especially, because it never got, it just got harder. And I know I'd be in tears, and I know there'd be an absolute mess. But the whole point is to give people hope, to say, listen, you might be in a bad place, you might be in a rough place, you might be going through some really difficult times. It is redeemable. It won't be wasted. You can be rescued. There is hope. God's not done with you, because he wasn't done with me, right? That's the whole point, is to give the testimony of two people who need hope, who need to meet Jesus, or for that matter, need to be reminded who Jesus is. Are there workshops to give a good testimony? I could use something like that. I mean, probably. I mean, you could. Toastmasters would help as much as anybody. But really, when you're given a testimony, it is 3 parts, right? My life before Jesus, how I met Jesus, and my life since I met Jesus. That's his testimony. And you can kind of try to balance the story in 3 parts and 3 links, right? Before I met Jesus, this is kind of what my life was like, and this is the kind of person I grew up as, and this is the kind of situation I was in, and this was my personality. And then I met Jesus in this way. And this is sort of the story of how I reframed my life and gave him more permission to change it, and made him my Lord, and really gave my life over to him, rather than just kind of keep him on the back burner and whatever. I really I committed myself to Jesus. And then since I did that, I've had these struggles, and I've had these victories, and I've seen these things happen, and I witnessed this miracle, and I've changed from the person that I was. I could see that God had created me special back in the day. I still have all that special, but God has redeemed it in a special way. And all the scary, horrible, miserable stuff God is still using for his glory today. Like that's a testimony, right? That's your 3-part testimony. And it's going to be different for everybody. If you can look back and see how God worked in it before Jesus' time, and exactly, well, that's the thing, right? Like if you look back, you can kind of see what God was doing through your new eyes. Many people can't, right? But once you become a Christian, you start to be able to see that God was in that. Let's do question 2. Question 2 is I don't mind being the first to take a risk. So here's the question, right? And talking about Donnie, right? Taking the risk of sharing your testimony, being the first one. Do we have any volunteers to share their story? Will you be the first one to share, or will you sit there and wait for everybody else to do it? Right? When it comes to, say, prayer meeting, are you the first one to pray? When it comes to class, do you put up your hand? When it comes to going on the roller coaster, right? Will you sit in the front seat? Just things are you willing to take the lead? This is a leadership thing, obviously, but are you willing in your life to be first to do it? Or are you always hanging back, waiting for to see whether or not it will collapse under someone else, waiting to see if it's gonna hurt, waiting to see how to do it so that you can, you can maneuver and see all the ways that they screwed up? Or are you willing to step out there and do it first? You know what? I'll try it. Let's go. Courage, if you're going to be a courageous person, goes, I'm okay with looking foolish because I'm secure with who I am. I'm okay with stepping out there and blowing it all up because I have compassion on the people who are behind me and who also don't want to go first and who and I know are also nervous. I'll take the bullet for them, right? I'll go out there and completely mess it all up so that they don't have to. It's to do with your character. It's to do with your love for others. The teacher's standing up there, or whoever's standing up there, and can we get a volunteer? And they're like, man, I just want to move on with the class. I just want to move on with what I'm doing, and I just need someone to come stand here for a second because I need an illustration, right? If everybody keeps their hands down, we're stuck. Are you the one that can raise their hand and go, yeah, I'll take the risk. I'll stand in front of people, That is courage, being first to take the risk. It's not stupid risks, Like, it's not investing all your money in NFTs when they're new. That's not courage, right? That's not. It's maybe it's trying to embrace that technology and going, okay, well, I'm gonna take a look at NFTs. I'm gonna throw a little bit of capital in there to see what happens. Dip my toe in there. I'm not gonna just write it off and avoid it altogether. I'm going to try. And then and then it blows up and the entire market crashes. You're like, oh, well, I'm glad I didn't invest everything in that. Things like that, right? Are you willing to take the risk? What number are you when it comes to taking a risk? And then number C, that is when ideas arise, I want to take action, not talk. So the implication here is that you're already talking, right? That's where the ideas came from. Is that you're talking to people, or you're in a meeting, or you're in among your group, or you're among your friends, or you're with your family, and you come up with an idea, and it's like, actually, you know what? That might work. Are you willing to go, I'll do that. Let me try that. Or is it, do you get enough of your back scratched? Do you get enough feeling of momentum simply by talking? We've talked about that before in previous, chats about people that talk about helping people and then have meetings about helping people and then have websites about helping people and then strike committees about helping people, but never actually get around to helping people, but they still feel like they're doing things, right? They still feel like they're helping because they're having meetings about helping, but they're actually not. Are you willing to be the person who looks at that idea and goes, I'll try that. I'll take that on. I'll step out in that direction. Let me try. Or do you wait for other people to volunteer? Do you sit there and you want to, we need to get every single detail hashed out before I'm willing to even consider saying anything. I want to be devil's advocate. Gotta love those guys who want to actually work for the devil in every meeting. Hi, I'm here and I represent Satan. I'm going to tell you all the reasons this won't work and ask you bizarre and amazing questions about situations that will never happen. But it'll discourage everyone. And that's my job. And then you throw all that out there. Like there are people, and that's a way to avoid, that's a cowardly way to avoid doing things, right? Yeah, every now and again, we got to kind of expand and look out and go like, how could this go wrong? For sure. But some people, that's just how they deal. They poop on every idea that they possibly can because they don't want to do anything. It for them, and they pat themselves on the back, man. Good job. I stopped them from doing anything. I'm such a good person. I'm so helpful. That nobody in that place moved. It's how can you? What's safer? Nobody moves, nobody gets hurt. Like, actually, that's cowardly, right? That's cowardly. So when ideas arise, do you take action? There's 3 questions. I'm sure there's lots and lots more, but I think these are good ones. Do you start new things? Do you try new things, even when it's scary? Do you stand up first, right? Will you take the risk to be the one to stand up first? And when ideas arise, are you willing to take the risk of starting, to trying the new, to do it, or are you the person that just likes to talk? Those are all courageous things, and they're not, firefighting and, being a soldier and police and all the rest of that stuff. It's very normal, everyday courage, that can happen every day, right? The new projects thing comes up a lot, right? If you have a home, or you have a family, or you have aging parents, or you have you're at a job, or you have your channel or whatever, like there's lots of things that happen and it's new, especially if you're in the digital environment, because things are changing all the time. This whole Twitch allowing multi-streaming thing, right? Kicking off, right? The question is, are you willing to try? Or are you going to wait and see what happens and watch other people take the opportunity and grow and blast past you because you weren't willing to take the risk? And or are you willing to try? It happens every day, every single day. I'm gonna pray real quick, and then we're gonna jump into the chatting. So if you have any questions, ask me anything. You do any kind of topic you want on this or not. But let me pray, and then we'll switch over. God, thank you for the day. Thank you for your love. And thank you so much for walking with us. Thank you for being the one who gives us courage. We stand on a firm foundation and we can fight because you are the foundation at our feet. You are the anchor. So therefore we can have a battle in the storm because we're anchored in you. You are the one who is keeping us steady. You're the one who keeps us strong. You're the one who allows us to be able to enter into the battle because you're the one who gives us the armor. We're very thankful for you, your protection, and your motivation. So we want to live as courageous people. Show us what ways that we are being weak or cowardly. Show us what ways we are being foolish and foolhardy, and help us live wise and courageous. In Jesus' name, amen. So, this is the Q&A portion of our time. You do the Q's, I'll do the A's. Unless you want to do the A's and I can do the Q's. It's up to you. Oh, right, the ramen. We forgot the ramen. Oh, Samus wasn't here. So, on this, what we're going to try is instead of saying amen, we're going to get the emote that says ramen. Because we don't have an amen emote, we can do a ramen emote. Which is hilarious, by the way. My pot pie is cold now. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about in regards to that? Throw up a story, throw up a comment, throw up anything, and we can get us kicked off here. Cooking 9, so I missed it. That's okay. At least you're having lunch, and at least you're cooking. I don't think I'd be a very good single person. I need my family. Or I would either starve myself to death or eat garbage. You take a question from me? All right. Question from me. When was the last time you chose to have a conversation with someone about something you're struggling with? They didn't ask. It didn't just come up. You decided to go have a conversation with someone because you were struggling. When was the last time you did that? Here's my question for you. I can't eat. I can't eat if I don't cook. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I hear that. My wife's the same way. Yep. I, however, am a garbage disposal who can allow anything into my body. So that's my question. Because that takes courage, right? Being willing to call somebody up and say, hey, I'm struggling. Help. Or, I am ignorant. Inform me. Or, I lack self-control. Help me. You know? That's hard to do. Hard to do. Hey, XtianNinja in chat, says DJ. Well, I talked to my pastor again about the Bible study. Unfortunately, she said it would be too much for them. They would start, what does that say? They would start have to be okay with people on their interests. Well, it can start there, though. It's not a bad idea, right? Instead of being a Bible study, what if it was an affinity group? And by affinity group, I mean people who gather together because they're interested in the same thing. Doesn't have to be a Bible study. Doesn't have to be Christian at all. It can just be Christian, or for that matter, any gamers, depending on how evangelistic or who you want to open it to, who just play games, who just share games, who just talk about games, right? That's a great place to start, because what will end up happening is you'll gather all these people together because they're going to play games, you're going to talk about games, you're going to do games, and then somebody's going to be like, hey, I like you. Can we make this a thing and have like a Bible study or something? Because I'm struggling with, or accountability, or I'm constantly looking at porn. Can we have a accountability group for that? Someone's going to say it. But it starts with an affinity group, and you don't need authorization to start an affinity group. That's just you seeing if you want to hang out with some gaming buddies. Does having a budget discussion with your spouse count? It did include my personal feelings struggle. It depends on the intentionality, right? Were you avoiding the conversation and then you decided to have it, or were you trepidatious about it and you would prefer not to have it but you did it anyway? Or was it scheduled and you were going to do it anyway, but it got personal feelings, Not stomping off sometimes, right? Not stomping off takes hard work. Being willing to hash out that really difficult thing that you both seem intractable on, but both the immovable, and then working through that and figuring it out. Because sometimes people are very used to just stomping off. If you want to ruin all TV shows for you, watch for the end of a scene where the end of scenes and someone leaving the room as the end of a scene, right? If this is how 90% of scenes went in television, it's talkity talk, someone stomps off, someone leaves the room, someone closes the door, someone, it always ends with someone walking off. And that's just not how life is supposed to be. Not a discussion I like having, but with changes in circumstances, some things have to be spelled out. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, well, good. I mean, yeah. If it's something that it was tough to do, you did it anyway, you stuck through it, and you got to the end and you were able to find a conclusion, then great. Local church talked about giving the joy that comes from it. It's scary and can sometimes be painful. Courage is needed. From what? Local church talked about giving. Oh, giving. I'm like, giving? Giving the joy? Giving and the joy that comes from giving. Yeah. It can be painful. Actually, there's a little bit of wisdom in the idea that if the giving doesn't hurt a little bit, then it probably wasn't very generous. You know what I mean? And the more it hurt, the more joy you have access to. It's a big deal when you give something up and then you go without. Many of us don't, we give out of our excess, which is good. That's good. It's not a criticism. But giving out of our lack, that's a big deal. That's what Paul was talking about when he talked to the Galatians, right? He's like, everybody wants to help, and a lot of people are trying to help. You guys were helping in a famine. You guys were helping when you didn't have food, and you were still sending help. That's amazing, right? That's a little different. That's a little different. So you definitely have access to more joy when you're like, you know what? Let's give this thing up. It's going to cause a pinch, or it was going to be inconvenient for a bit, but I'm going to give it to this person who needs it more. And you see them enjoying it, and you're like, man, I'm so glad I did that. Or they go and they crash it, and they blow it up, and you're like, ah, dang. That could happen too. That's why Jesus says, give without expecting it in return. Because that's how you have to give. You give it up, it's not yours anymore. You don't have ties to it. You don't have permission to do anything with it. It's not yours anymore. Let go. And so if they go wrap it around a tree, or they don't use it properly, or they never use it ever, or they sell it, you can't get mad. It's not yours. You gave it away. A lot of people have a hard time with that. They give with strings. Right? I'll give you this thing, but I'm going to secretly say, you don't say it out loud, be like, I will secretly say, if I don't see you using it in the next, week or two, I'm going to ask, hey, whatever happened to, because if I'm going to give it to you, you're going to use it because someone else could have used it. You gave with strings. Don't give with strings. There's a balance to having courage, right? If you're always the one rushing into things without considering how others are impacted, it can be annoying and cause problems. I don't think that's courageous, right? That's not courage. Running in and wanting to be the center of attention, running in and thinking you are far more intelligent or experienced than you are, running in and needing to be the messiah of the day, or because you only live on drama and you want to be the center of the drama, like you need to be part of the gossip. If you aren't part of the gossip, you lose your mind, right? All those are reasons why people rush into things. It's because it's about them. I want to help not for the group. I want to help because I want to seem helpful and be cool. I want to help because I want to be part of the group because I want to know what's going on. I don't like not knowing things. I want to have my input in there. Or I at least want to know what's happening. I rush in because I think I'm super smart and intelligent, and everybody needs to listen to what I have to say because I'm so smart. So they go and they jump into everything and they just start barfing out dumb stuff without even listening first. None of that's courageous, right? None of that's courageous. That's just self stuff. So selfish and prideful, arrogant, stupid. But you're right. They can be confused. They definitely can be confused. Especially the ones with the Messiah complex, right? Because they are probably taking a risk. I'm trying to find gamers in my church and started hanging out on that. Yep. Maybe get a Discord together. Get it from there. I don't know one gamer in my church. Maybe taking your offer with Taco. Hey, man. If you can't start a thing and you can't kick off a thing and you can't find things, then let it go, DJ. Let it go. That's not working. I'm going to let it go. It didn't work out. And go join something. Go support someone else, right? Because your heart is like, well, I want gamers to get together and I want us to read the Bible, or I want it to study, or I want gamers to get together to support each other. Instead of starting something, go be a very active part of someone else's thing, right? Go join Wolfler, right? Go hang out with Wolfler. He's got lots of group. Go hang out with probably Deuce. I don't know if Deuce has groups, but he's probably got lots going on in his Discord. But go be a very active part of someone else's thing. That's the way to have a friend is be a friend. Yeah. It's a lot of people in the world. I'm not going to say the church because the world. They want to start things, but it's not because they're so courageous, and it's not because they're so whatever. It's because they want to feel important. One of the things that happens in now we'll talk about church. One of the things that happens in church is that you'll have people that'll come in and they'll finally be part of a group that's listening to them. Sounds crappy, but it's true. They're finally part of a group that's listening to them, that shows them some respect, that makes them feel important. They're a member, and maybe they've been a member for a little while, but outside the church, they're not very important. Right? They don't have a big job. They don't make a lot of money. They don't have a lot of stuff. They aren't in government. They're outside the church. They feel just super normal or even oppressed. Right? They feel like they're being taken advantage of. And so when they come into the church, they have this complex. And so any chance to be able to lead or start something or be on a committee or whatever, they'll take it. Not because they're good at it, not because they prayed about it, not because they thought they could help even. They wanted it because they wanted to have... They don't have influence outside, they want influence. They're not allowed to be a leader outside, they want to be a leader on the inside. They don't have the chance for getting a raise. They want to be able to come in here and feel important. Those are not good reasons to join anything. So, DJ, I say that because it, if it's not working out and it's not working out and it's not working out, and you're pushing really, really hard, right? There's and you've been told by your pastor and told by whatever, no, then you gotta then be like, you know what? I still believe in this. I still think it's important. I still think God wants me to do this, but clearly I'm not the one supposed to lead it. So I'll go support someone else. I'm going to go find another group and I'm going to support that. Then you get your itch scratched. You're in the group you want to be part of. You're obeying God, and you can support them like crazy. You can be the one who shows up. You can be the one who makes sure everybody's there. You can be the one who moderates or brings donuts or I don't know, whatever you do. Right? You can be part of it and an active part of it and feel important, but in an area of service rather than leadership. Sam says, I was told that as a kid, Uke, but was never told how to be a friend. Maybe that's weird, but I didn't know and therefore was without friends for a long time. Yeah, some people think it comes naturally, and it doesn't necessarily, not for everybody, right? Especially if you're a high energy person, right? If you're really like bouncing off the walls and you find some folks that are also bouncing off the walls, then great. You know, you guys can go bounce together. But if you're around a bunch of normies, or you're around a bunch of, that don't do that, then you're going to seem aggressive. You're going to seem like you're pressuring, or you're going to seem like you're all over the place. If you talk really fast and they don't want to listen, or what, it's hard. It's hard to do something. Making friends isn't easy. It's not easy, especially for kids. Like, especially, I would say not for kids, especially for teens, 13 to 18 kind of thing. Hard to do. It's really hard to do. Before that, you can throw them into a room, hand them a toy, and then they'll figure it out. But yeah, it's hard to do. Suppose that phrase should be part of a larger conversation. Oh yeah, it's like, don't have sex. What? I think that needs more details. Don't do drugs. Okay. What's drugs? How many kids don't want to do drugs, but they don't know what drugs are? My pastor says that she's going to help me with it, like summarizing what we discussed and how to take action. All right, well then there you go. That's something. There are plenty of kids out there that would never consider, Ritalin or what's that one that gets passed around at colleges? The one that it helps you focus or whatever, right? They wouldn't consider that drugs because it comes in a medicine bottle. Wouldn't even think of it. They wouldn't. I'd say no if it was, weed or heroin for sure. And then someone's like, "This will help you study," and they're like, "Oh, okay, cool." And like, that was also drugs. Adderall, that's what it's called. Yeah. I'm gonna sit down. I'm excited to play Minecraft today. It's gonna be fun. Slow Monday. It's funny. I'm it's one thing to preach the message. It's not about the numbers and as long as you got one person in chat and you're able to have a good conversation, then good. It's another thing when you're like, man, I'm on a new platform and only the mods are here. It's not a criticism. I'm just saying, I'm just sharing what's in my head, and it's just like, that is not a good thought. That is not a valuable thought. It discounts all the people that are here. It's all bad. All that thinking is bad. It's just can't help it. You're just not supposed to voice it. But I tend to voice it. I think the reason is because I get a lot of affirmation, or at least, how would I put that? I get a lot of people who are thankful that I said the thing that I was struggling with, because they also were and they didn't want to share. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden it opens up a conversation. So, yeah. Thinking about when I stream, I was thinking about speedrunning an MMO side quest. You get it. Final Fantasy 14's Palace of the Dead. Hey, dude. Yeah. That is a lot of work. So, again, this is AMA, and if you don't A me anything, Amy A. If you don't, yeah, that works. If you don't Amy A, we'll just shut her down and start Minecraft over on the other stream at 2. But I'm going to. But I'm happy to chat. I will say this: next, all this split stuff, I'm shutting it down next week. Like this week, I will figure out how to do multi-streaming. That's the plan. And then I won't be doing the two streams anymore. I worked so hard to put it together, and it was so like stressful to try to get it all done, and having to figure out all the tech and all that stuff. And then it lasted 2 weeks before Twitch changed everything. Part of me is like, but I'm glad I did it. I learned some stuff, but I'm not doing that again. I'm gonna be on Twitch primarily, and then YouTube's gonna be a simulcast. And if I can make the policy say, I'll be a lawyer. I'm gonna lawyer that policy really hard. And if I can make the policy work with being able to have a little YouTube chat on there, I'll do it. Right? That's something I wouldn't normally say. I'd be like, oh, you got to be super duper careful. So, draw a big fence around it and, don't go anywhere near. But in truth, when it comes to that kind of stuff, it's almost like you have to skirt the edges in order to maximize what you can do. And I think skirting the edges is the right call in that. Trying to figure out what the most amount of dual stream interactivity you can possibly have would be. So I'll figure it out. Is the policy even out yet? They said they were going to release a policy. I'm not sure they ever did. Sonic Knuckles, hey, walking into the conversation, there are ways to merge chats to something. You're not allowed. That's the thing, Sonic. They said no to that. That's part of the policy. No merging chats. Nice question, XN. When you figure out multi-stream, would you be willing to share what you figure out? Been curious about it myself. Actually, it's funny you bring that up because I just shared with the team something. I've had a few people recently ask me some pretty intricate OBS questions. We're doing the reviews, and they're like, well, and I'm like, well, you should do this. And they're like, I don't know how to do that. So I said, what if we did a stream tune-up live on Discord, where if you have questions, I kind of go Bible Answer Man on it, where you have questions, I have my OBS open, and you say, how do you do this? And I can take you through it live with everybody else watching, because they need to know that kind of stuff too. And in the same way, like if we do multi, when I figure out multi-streaming, not if, but when, I can take you through that. So would you be interested in that? Would you sit in a Discord call and go through it? Or is that something that would be like, nah, just send me a link, man. I thought you could multi-stream period. No, they just changed it. Literally just changed it, Sonic. Like literally a day ago. Or 2 days ago. You were allowed to only multi-stream to Twitch or to TikTok. That's it. But now you can. You can go anywhere. Provided. Yeah, I'm actually gonna Google that. Twitch multi-stream policy. Can I ask a link to what changed? Oh, just go to the Discord and go and scroll up in the creator chat. There's like 500. we talked about it, man. It's right there. All right, Twitch partner exclusivity. Partner affiliates are allowed to create live content on other platforms. There it is. Okay, exclusivity FAQ. Hello. They page is down. All right, fine. Simulcasting guidelines. How about that one? All right, there we go. Okay, whoop, that didn't work. How about we go? I don't know, whatever. Simulcasting guidelines. Just scroll up, dude. It's right there. You can scroll up. I believe in you, Sonic. In line with the coming change of terms of service, we are now allowing you to simulcast on any service. We believe in giving you the freedom to simultaneously stream on other services. You believe that, do you? That's a weird thing to believe suddenly. But we also want to ensure that the Twitch user experience is not compromised. Right. That's why. The Twitch user experience, of course. To that end, the following guidelines have been established. 1. You ensure that the quality of Twitch users' experience of your simulcast is at minimum no less than the experience on other platforms or services, including by your engagement with the Twitch community, for example, via chat. In other words, when you are streaming, you have to pay attention to Twitch chat like you always would. Like, it's basically what they're saying is you can simulcast, right, onto YouTube. But the broadcast is from Twitch. So, next thing it says, you should not provide links or otherwise direct your community to leave Twitch for your simulcast on other services, because we value the community on Twitch and the integral role community engagement plays for all Twitch users. Also, we don't want you to leave the site. So that makes sense. It makes absolute sense to be like, hi, everybody on Twitch, come over to YouTube because YouTube's better. Yeah, obviously, that would be bad. Don't do that. Thumbs up. You do not, as long as you do not use third-party services that combine activity from other platforms or services, this is the sticky one, on your Twitch stream during your simulcast. What they're basically saying here, and that's why I'm trying to find the loophole, which is do your Twitch stream as you'd always do your Twitch stream, but now you can mirror your Twitch stream on YouTube or everywhere else, right? Like, you can have it over there, but my question is, can I have YouTube chat on stream if it's not mixed in? And that's why this little section here matters. It's been established. You do not use third-party services. So Stream Elements is a third-party service that I use to display Twitch chat, right? You can mirror to others, but you can't mirror into Twitch. Yes, they want to be primary, which yadoy. Exactly, right? Like, of course they do. You don't use third-party services that combine activity from other platforms or services on your Twitch stream during your simulcast, such as merging chat or other features to ensure the Twitch community is included in the entirety of the experience of your live stream. Okay. So, if the three things they want is make the Twitch community the primary, make the Twitch chat the primary, don't make your stream worse by adding a bunch of like gobbledygook from into your chat, and make sure the Twitch community is included in the entire experience, right? If that's what they want, that's it, Gerberts. There is a way to do it. Like, if you use Restream, restream.io, it will literally combine them. So it'll be like Twitch and then a little YouTube symbol and then a little whatever symbol, and they'll all be in the same stream, which is good-ish. But it was kind of a mess back in the day. Apparently, it's a little nicer now. Yeah, don't cross the streams. What about temporary sponsorship or permanent, like coffee, SC donations? Well, and this is the goofy one right here, right there. That's goofy. Combine activity from other platforms or services on your Twitch stream during simulcast, such as merging chat or other features, to ensure the Twitch community is included in the entirety of the experience. So, here's the question, right? And this is, so say I do these overlays, right? And right now on YouTube, if you subscribe, this will go kazoopo. It'll have a really cool animation. If I have this, and over top of this, I have a mirror, an exact duplicate of YouTube, right? Of Twitch. So Twitch is still doing the alerts. Twitch is still doing the cool stuff. Twitch is still looks the same. It's no different. But during Twitch, during my Twitch stream, if someone subscribes on YouTube, it goes blah, blah, blah. They've always had that. You've always been able to do that. You could have a live YouTube number in the background. Like, you could always do that. So I don't see that that's any different. So having your overlays multi-mushed, you know what I mean? Is like having multiple layers of your of browser source overlays so that you have many different alerts happening depending on your I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Right? Since it's about simulcasting, it is reasonable to assume we're not combining activity from streaming services. Activities from other third parties like alerts from a coffee sub are fine. That's exactly. So is combining activity from streaming services. Right? So Stream Elements is not a streaming service. So therefore, if I had Twitch chat, right? And then I had YouTube chat on the same screen. It is the same experience on YouTube, which is what they want. It is not combined, which is what they want. The Twitch community will be the primary one that I can see, because it's only for those who are watching. And I won't have the I'll be able to connect with everybody, right? So simply chat appearing on stream could use restream and program Stream Elements to not display restream posts. Well, you just do two browser sources, man. Easy peasy. Like, you just have the frame up here, right? Right. So I got a browser source here on this side, like just the top area, and that's just the Twitch browser source, just like it always is. And then below that is a separate browser source that is the YouTube chat. And they look so different. Like, they look wildly different. So you'd know them. It'd be very, very easy. So I would think that if you're like, here's my thought. If you have the same as always on Twitch, you slide your chat up to be a little bit shorter, right? You put a similar looking frame, and then you put Twitch chat, like your YouTube chats, in there. Then YouTube will be able to see that they have a chat. Twitch is the prominent one. It's the primary one, and it has it's the same user experience. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Chat should be still allowed to merge, just not visible on stream. That's the opposite. You're not allowed to merge the chats. Like, you're allowed to monitor the chat. Like, for example, I can still have, YouTube monitoring open like I do now. I can still read it myself, even if this part was gone. I can still read it myself. That's what they want. Like, this would be Twitch chat, and I can still. Well, that's like the hardcore version. This would be Twitch chat, and I'd still be able to read YouTube, but they wouldn't be able to see it. I figure that it would be fine if it was mostly Twitch, and on the bottom you had like the YouTube section, and it was just like a little bit of they're not mixed, they're not merged. Twitch community is still primarily, nobody's getting excluded, right? That seems to be like a no-brainer. So that's that. Unless I hear different, that's what I'll do. What's an example of it? Here, hold on. Back to here. Since we're talking about it, what's an example of a degraded experience on Twitch? See if I can make it bigger for you guys. There we go. For example, shrinking the size of or otherwise degrading the video quality on Twitch. Well, I don't have to do that. You can have the exact same stream, 1080p, whatever, headed both ways. Like, unfortunately, it actually affects YouTube negatively, because YouTube can handle way more bandwidth and way more resolution. I'm streaming in 2K right now. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Doesn't hurt anybody. But when I do multi-streaming, YouTube will have to be downgraded to 1080. Because I don't have like the beefiest card in the world, so it's not going to render or encode two different signals. I'll have to but you won't notice. It's the same. So that it's worse than other platforms would make the user experience on Twitch less than other services, therefore not meet the guidelines. Can I still link to third-party websites? Yes, we already read that one. Can I use third-party tools that combine activity from other platforms? That combine right there, see? Third-party tools that combine activity. They're talking about Restream. Literally just talking about Restream. And that is a combiner. And so therefore, no, you can't combine activity from other platforms or services as chat if I'm using them for my personal usage. All right, that's you can do that yourself if you're the one looking at it, right? Would be a featured for really big streamers where combined chat would be a lot. Would a featured chat plugin where you're showing off the combined, you are just featuring stuff you are responding. Well, if they're the same browser source, would that be an issue? Right. Well, that's this one. So the next that's the first one, yes. But they're gonna. There's a no up here somewhere. Like I'll find the no. Hold on. How do I designate my stream as simulcasting? You don't need to designate. You don't even have to say anything. You know? Cool. They're going to try to do some kind of stream manager thing. Okay, fine. If my partner agreement was terminated because I left to another service, can I reapply? Okay, where's the no? It's in my... Did they change it? No, it's the same thing. The limitation regarding third-party links or directing your community to leave Twitch only applies to your stream or Twitch chat. You are not required to make any changes to the about. Right. You are free to use the tools that are for personal use. The prohibition on third-party tools only applies to content presented to viewers either on or off Twitch. It sure feels like the issue is don't plug up chat with a bunch of YouTube stuff so that there's a bunch of YouTube symbols flying through. Don't multi-confuse so everything on there is garbage. Because that's what it was before. Back in the day when you did Restream, it was awful. Like the chat looked terrible. It had timestamps, it had icons. It was hard to follow. So totally understandable. Don't wreck your chat. Kind of get that. Maybe someone could do just chat stream where Twitch chat takes up half the screen, kick chat a quarter. That's literally what I'm thinking. That's Jock Binner. That's literally what I'm thinking. Is make Twitch the main and make YouTube and whatever else you're doing like a sub section. We hear a lot of fuss for about a week, and then some clarifications come up. Exactly. That's exactly what and everybody's waiting for that. I don't think, though. I don't think that they're gonna back off the combined chat thing. It doesn't work in their favor, because if they sat down there as a business group and they're like, well, how do we let them do simulcasting? Because they won't shut up about it. Like, well, we'll let them do simulcasting, but don't let them have. But use it to drive traffic to Twitch, right? Use it to drive traffic to Twitch. So if the best experience for the user, where you're in the big chat and you have all the bells and whistles, is on Twitch, that's what they're shooting for. However, if multi-streaming makes it worse for everybody on Twitch, then they don't want that. So I can totally get that. I would say that, like, when I design it, I'm going to be designing it soon, because my overlay lady, girl, woman, person is going to be giving those to me probably this week. So I'll be redesigning my entire stream. And when I do redesign my stream, my intention will be to multi-stream. So hopefully I'll have this out all by next week. It's going to be a lot of work by next week, and I'll be multi-streaming, and I'll have unless I hear otherwise, it'll be big Twitch chat, little YouTube chat. Now here's a question, and I'm going to throw this out there for you guys to answer for me, because I actually don't know the answer to this question. Now that you can multi-stream, should you do kick? That's my question. Because the reason I didn't switch to kick is because it's bad. It's a casino, exploitative, Wild West, bleh, you know, a lot of bad stuff over there. So I'm like, I can't work for a casino. I can't take money from a casino. I can't, you know, whatever. I can't push people towards a casino. However, if I can be on Kick and it's an advertisement for Twitch, you know, like you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. I want to talk to the, you know, talk to the people. I guess I have to go to Twitch to be able to say hello. That actually works in my favor. That works in Twitch's favor and my favor, because then they're like, oh, this is interesting. I'm going to head over to Twitch. They would like that. So I think it's a good idea. And I'm going to go slow here until somebody tells me otherwise. That now would be a good time to get the Kick going so that you can simulcast. I got the bandwidth. I don't need to restream. I can do the bandwidth right from my computer. I got a gig in and a gig out, so I can do that. The only thing it could screw up is if it eats my video card, which I don't think it'll do. Like, I don't think it has anything to do with encoding. It'll encode once and send that multiple places. Get yourself some Kick moderators. I know that's actually the other thing, ukulele. You know, is it 3 chats, 3 mods, 9 mods, 12 mods. That's a lot. So could you auto mod Kick to the extreme? Or for that matter, you know what? Actually, don't have any comments from Kick. That's what, well, I don't know. I have no idea about discoverability on Kick. I know that Susie can get 100 people on there, and when he's streaming, and then when he comes over here to do his other little stream, he's got 25, right? So there's something going on over there. Granted, he's playing games over there and then doing work over here, so it's different. But if it was just like, exactly, Kick would be like TV. So they're just able to watch it. Now, that might be a terrible idea, because as far as user experience goes, you know, it's not like they'd be like, oh, yay, I get to watch this thing on Kick. Maybe it is, but it's one more place that you could go if somebody stumbled across it. If somebody was like, oh, I Googled the thing, and, you know, or I went to Kick and I punched in this tag and your stream came up and there it was. And they're looking at it and they're like, hey, how come I can't chat? And it look at the about and it says, if you'd like to talk on chat, if you'd like to, you know, chat with us, head over to Twitch and come join the chat. There's nothing wrong with that. Although maybe Kick's policy says that. I don't know. I haven't read Kick's policy. I know Twitch's policy says I can't go the other way. But you know, can you have Kick? Or is that, even if you didn't do that, it'd be like an unwritten, you know, like, where do I chat? I guess I got to go to Twitch, right? People would figure that out. I don't know. Seems intelligent to me. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to take a little break, 10-minute break. Then I'm going to head over to Twitch, and we're going to do some Minecraft. So come on over. It's not very user friendly. Yeah, I've heard some rough things about over there. And I'm going to play some Minecraft. It's Twitch interactive, meaning you can come and you can mess with me and you can have fun and you can do some stuff. That'd be fun. Or you can just watch, and I'm going to try to build something. The idea is to live there. So I've tried to make the things you can do not catastrophic, right? We like the whole, remember, if you were there, Sis Pineapple, like putting 1 million chickens and then converting those chickens into creepers and then blowing the ever-loving snot out of everything. We're not doing that. There's still stuff you can do that's plenty destructive. There's lots. It's not as destructive because I'd like to actually build a nice place and maybe live in this server for a while. Between you, me, and the wall, since there's only like 10 people here, There are other people on the server, so it's not just me. So it's you know, where I've told them I told them you can come on the server, sure. You have to be 1,000 blocks away. Don't say anything, Terry. Hold on. If you're about to type what they can do, don't say anything. Yeah, because I want to leave that the 2 words or the 3 words that do fun things, silly things. I want to leave them as a secret to see if anybody can say them. I'd love to do one for like hello or something common that doesn't do anything except for something fun in Minecraft, like make a sparkle. But at the because that's fun. Scratches blow the ever-loving snot. Oh man, I mean it's there. It's there, but you're gonna pay $50 for it. Yeah, 10,000. Okay, 10,000 blocks away. Yeah, 1,000 far enough. Okay, there you go. 10,000 blocks away. Yeah. Okay. What was that? Secret tunnel? What just happened? Did I get subscribed to? Let's watch and see. Why is it so late? I'm sure it'll happen at some point. Anyway, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you guys. If you did just subscribe and I didn't get the alert and things didn't happen, I apologize. I'm sure it'll happen at some point. But thank you. I'm gonna head off. I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be over on Twitch in a very short period of time. Come and hang out and let's do some Minecraft, man. I love it. Probably spend the whole time just typing random words in the chat. That works for me. It makes chat alive. All right, see you in a little bit.